Namaskar, I'm Harpreet Kaur and I welcome you all to our live and interactive session. This is our online training program on inclusive education and digital technology. This training program is brought to you by Central Institute of Educational Technology, that is CIET NCERT, in collaboration with Department of Education of Groups with Special Needs NCERT. You are watching us live on PM eVidya channels 6 to 12 and also on our YouTube handle NCERT Official. Today we are in day 4 of the training session and the topic that we are taking up is assistive technologies. If you have questions related to the topic, please feel free to get in touch with us. Our phone number is 8800440559. Our email ID is training.helpdesk@ciet.nic.in. And you can also send us your questions, suggestions and feedback on our YouTube handle NCERT Official. We request all our viewers to kindly not mark their attendance and ask relevant questions. Now, we have been talking about inclusion and we are talking about how digital technology is like hand in glove with inclusive education. It has become a vital part of today's scenario where teaching learning process has become so much digital. But when we talk about assistive technologies, are they meant for a particular group or we all are using them and we all need them in our day-to-day life? What's more about it? And we will get all our answers and all our solutions from the expert today. So please join me in welcoming my guest for the session, Dr. Shilpa Manogna, Associate Professor from Department of Education of Groups with Special Needs, NCERT. Namaskar and very warm welcome to you.
Thank you. Namaste.
Ma'am, you know, on the very first day of the training session, we actually tried to understand what inclusion is, because generally when we talk about inclusivity, the only picture that comes to our mind is of disability. When we talk about assistive technologies, we think it's about the wheelchair, certain software that are meant for the people with certain disabilities. So I want to first of all understand, is the scope so limited and what is the relevance of the topic that you are taking today?
Definitely. When we talk about inclusion, the first thing which comes to mind is definitely children with disabilities, the most marginalized or the neglected population. But if we are talking of assistive technology, it is not just for children with disabilities or adult with disabilities. You know, you and I, day in, day out, we are using technology which is easing our lives.
Absolutely.
Without GPS, I think today we are not going to go anywhere.
True.
You know, earlier we never wanted to take the help of GPS, but now we are using it. You take the simple voice recorder in the smartphone. I think smartphone gives you the most ample examples for the accessibility features.
True.
You know, text to speech software is there.
Yes.
Then read aloud softwares are there. Totally. So everybody needs it, but yes, most importantly, people with disabilities need it because it actually helps them to become independent.
Wow. I think that's the most beautiful part of these assistive technologies.
Yes.
So ma'am, in today's session though, you know, you've already told us the relevance of it. What are the main points you'll be covering?
I think I'll very briefly touch upon what is assistive technology, who need it, what are the principles. If, you know, I'm sure many youngsters are with a lot of creative minds trying to come up with a lot of innovation. So what principles you have to keep in mind if you are trying to devise an assistive technology. And I'll show a lot of examples for children with learning disabilities, intellectual disabilities, multiple disabilities.
Right, ma'am. We are looking forward to this entire journey. So now I request you to kindly go ahead with your presentation uninterrupted, and whatever questions we will be receiving from our audiences and viewers, we'll take them up in the end. Please, ma'am.
Sure. Thank you. I think let's dive into the topic.
Yes.
So these are our main discussion points. Let us understand the assistive technologies, aids and assistive devices, what the policy says, what types of categories of assistive technologies are there, how do they benefit people in general, a lot of examples, and most importantly, where and how to avail these assistive technologies. So briefly, all of us, all the viewers I think are connected with us from day one, and for the new viewers, the National Education Policy and the National Curriculum Framework both talk about inclusive education, they emphasize the need for assistive technologies in the field of inclusive education a lot, and especially NEP talks about these SEDGs, wherein our today's focus of topic is the 21 disabilities. Okay. So, as per RPWD Act, there are 21 disabilities which are recognized in India, and whenever we talk of inclusive education in the context of children with disabilities, then we have to focus on all these 21 disabilities. We are not going into the names of all the 21 disabilities because that has been covered in our earlier sessions. Okay. So, we will straight away go ahead with the definitions. The most commonly the misconception which is there when you hear the word assistive technology is that it is related to software. Okay.
Yeah.
It is related to software, a lot of programming skills are involved in it and all. No, please do not be under that particular misconception. It means that it is any product or any system or any service. So, anything can fall under the broader category of assistive technology, because the major purpose is that the technology which you are using has to assist the person for whom it has been developed. Okay. So, that is why all the equipments are included, all the services are included, all the products are included, all the devices are included, softwares are included. Okay. So, there might be a very low cost tech product, but it is very useful for the child with disability, or there can be a very high tech device or appliance or an app which is again assisting the children with disabilities in their day-to-day life. So, definitely there are many benefits for using assistive technology, but particularly in the case of children with disabilities, learners with disabilities, the most important thing is that it creates independence. It enhances their ability to participate independently in their environment, be it the work environment, be it the educational environment, or be it their social cultural environments. Anywhere when they can participate on their own and do any activity on their own without depending upon any other person, that means the technology is being helpful to them. So, it can be improving a mobility, communication, social communication skills, or it can be assisting them in learning certain concepts in their classroom, at home, or it can be assisting them to take part in the simple games with their peer group, and thereby their self-esteem increases. You know, most of the children, what happens is that because when they are dependent on the on others, they feel that they are low or they are not on par. But this assistive technology really boosts their energies, boosts their self-esteem, because they can do all things on their own. So, these are some of the benefits, but these are not limited to these alone. Okay. So, then who needs it? I think this is our most pertinent question which we were discussing. All of us need it. Okay. Believe me, all of us are using technology which is assisting us day in, day out, every minute of our life. But what happens is that when we use reading glasses, or when we use, many a times when I drive, I don't take I don't read the message. I simply say, read me aloud. Is it that I cannot read the text message? No, I can read the text message, but that eases my life. It is easy for me to listen to rather than, reading to the text message. So, we are all using it day in, day life. But what happens over here is that when it comes to assistive technology, because of the limitations which the children with disabilities have in performing an activity independently, this is most important for children with disabilities. But people with long-term health conditions like diabetes, stroke, dementia, they also need assistive technology. Older people need assistive technology, and also people with chronic health conditions, they also need assistive technology. Okay. And by using assistive technology, the caregiver's load also reduces, because caregiving is a very, very tedious task. So this really eases the caregivers also. Some of the key facts I'm trying to present over here, and this is based on the research done by the World Health Organization, WHO. And for the sake of the viewers, I would like to tell that India is signatory to the UN Convention for the Rights for Persons with Disabilities, and also the UNCRPD, which we call in short form, and it has ratified. So we are bound by this ratification that we take care of the healthcare needs of all people with disabilities.
Okay.
So the survey tells that around 2.5 billion people need assistive technologies and products. So you see the kind of demand which is existing, and maybe a person might be requiring to use more than one device or one technology at a time. So if you see the field, it's definitely there is a lot of scope for expansion, a lot of scope for innovations. At the same time, another fact is that many people do not have access to these assistive products and technologies.
Are they all affordable?
Most of the time they are affordable, especially the Indian government is working a lot in making these devices affordable, and it has also initiated certain policies which we will discuss in our next slides, policies and schemes wherein people can avail these things free of cost for certain category of students, and they may have to on a concessional subsidized prices to certain other people. So some of the examples of assistive technology, I am not going to dwell more onto this particular thing, because I think from 3 days you have been listening to various products. You know, all of you are aware that the moment I think if I ask, because this is a live session, I cannot play a game with you all, but what comes to your mind when you hear the word assistive technology? The most commonly answered question is a wheelchair. Or a hearing aid or a smart cane. Okay, so because that is so visible and it has just penetrated, and that's the reason that is the thing which comes first. But apart from the wheelchairs, the traditional hearing aids, the walking canes, we have a lot of other materials also which will fall under the assistive technology. So a lot of other low-tech materials are there. You can see a headphone, a magnifying glass, or maybe a picture book, which assists a child with autism to communicate. These also will fall under the assistive technology. So when we talk about assistive technology, dear viewers, I want you to focus, or I want you to remember that there is a policy which we say 5P, people centered mode. That means whatever assistive technology is being developed, it should be people centric, because the assistive technology, no matter how big technology or how advanced technology you use, but if it is not going to be useful for the person for whom you have intended it to, then it is of no use at all. So it should be people centric. And definitely policy, what does the policy of the country says regarding the assistive technology? What products are there? Because there are 100 products, there are a lot of products, hundreds and hundreds. Every day a new assistive technology is coming up. So there are thousands of things available. But what are the most important products which have to be there? That also we have to be kept in mind, and how they can be provided to the people.
Right.
Okay, so that is the reason we call it as a 5P approach. So now the principles. These principles are very, very important. If we have parents who are from the technology background, siblings who are from the technology background, who are connected, or our young students who want to innovate something, if you have an interest in this particular area, I want all of you to remember that any technology, any product which you are devising under the category of assistive technology and devices, the first principle which has to be kept in mind is accessibility. If it is not accessible, then
it's
the
not
entire
assisted.
purpose is defeated.
Yes.
Okay. And the second most important, especially in a country like India where we have a huge population, affordability plays a very important role.
Yes.
Because no matter how good your technology is, if it is not affordable to the common man, then the product just remains there. Nobody is going to use it.
True.
Okay, so all your energies, all the manpower, all the budget, everything just goes waste. Then adaptability, because we have 21 disabilities, and you cannot expect that we will go on inventing or devising technologies or devices for each category individually or separately. We cannot do that. So we need to have technologies and products which can address the needs of most of these people. So that is what we call it as universal design. I think on day 2, universal design of learning has been covered. This is where the importance, the applicability comes in, that you devise a technology which can be used by any. So first, when the reading software was introduced, people thought that it would be only helpful for children with visual impairment. Now so-called sighted people like us are also using it. So that's how the technology becomes universal for all. Okay. So, and then the availability is very important. So if you just create the technology and people do not know how to get them, how to make it, because one is the designing of the product or the technology, and the second one is how are you trying to scale it up on a large scale so that the masses can get through that particular technology. So we have to see that the products are available at the district level, at the block level, easily for the parents, for the people with disabilities to procure them, to use them, or to try out, for that, even for that matter. We also go to a showroom. Let's say we are purchasing a headphone. Nobody wants to purchase a headphone without trying it out first. The same thing applies here for assistive technology also. People might want to try it out. Let me see, how does it look on me? How does it feel? How does it work? So we should have that kind of facilities also made available. Then acceptability. This is something very important, the design aspect, because sometimes we create devices and appliances which will make us look, standing out in the crowd. Nobody likes it. We all want to be part of the larger group. We don't want to stand out.
We want to feel included.
Included, yes, exactly. So have that particular design in such a way that you don't feel left out, or sometimes people create, especially for children with intellectual disability, those who have severe problem behaviors, who bang their head or who throw temper tantrums, they have devised certain helmets and all. But the moment the child wears, the child becomes cautious about it. Okay. And also the parents become cautious that whenever they are going out into the society, into the community, to a mall or so, they feel that no, everybody is looking at us. So design your products, your technologies in such a way that they have universal acceptability and the aesthetics, so that everybody can use them. Earlier we used to ask children with hearing impairment, why are you not wearing your hearing aid? But then they would say that no, it is big, it is shown. By the time we wear it, everybody knows that. Everybody knows that I cannot hear. But now look at the technology. There are the minutest hearing aids have come, which are not seen at all. So that's how the technology has helped to ease the process and to design in a very, very aesthetic way. And above all, what matters most is the quality. Because if your product or if your software or if your technology does not meet the minimum standards which are decided by the government, then the product cannot be distributed to especially children with disabilities. So Does it meet the service guidelines? Does it meet the minimum safety standards? Does it meet the ISO certification standards? All these things have to be kept in mind. And most importantly, when it comes to the devices and the appliances, the most important thing is the after service.
True.
Where should I go if there is a small problem arising after say 6 months of usage? I'm not going to buy a new one.
Yes.
Can somebody, fix the problem? Is there a servicing center which can fix it? Just like how we take our car for an yearly service.
In fact, I think the common reason behind buying any appliance or any stuff is the number of service centers it has.
Yes. So, can the product be not only easily available, but do we have the enough service centers which can cater to that is also very, very important. If we keep in mind these principles of access, I think then whatever is designed is definitely going to be a very, very well acclaimed and well received product it would become.
True.
Okay. So, as this is one more important topic which I would like to touch upon, that is I was discussing earlier that people think whenever assistive technology, some high tech technology and programming languages and softwares are involved in it, but no, there are a lot of devices and appliances which fall under the category of low tech or no tech also. So, when we devise assistive technology, we categorize them into three major categories. One, low tech or no tech, two, mid tech, and the third one is the high tech devices or appliances. So, for children with cerebral palsy, for example, they have problems with grip.
Yes.
Okay, so they have difficulty in writing. So, there are pencils with grippers. So, they can hold the pencil. The pencil is the same pencil which you and I use, but just by putting that gripper, what happens is the child with cerebral palsy can hold it tight and then will be able to write. Or some other child who has the difficulty in having a strong and firm grip.
True.
Okay, so they can use adapted books are there. Then color codings are used. Then a lot of highlighters are used. Picture cards are used. Schedules are used, especially for children with intellectual disabilities. These all fall under the low tech, which are most frequently used, like you use every day in the classroom. So, teachers, please do not be under the impression that I have to have some big gadget in my classroom, only then the child will be able to learn. No, small modifications, minor changes to the existing material itself can create wonders. So, all those things will fall under the low tech category. Then in mid tech, you have some amount of technology involved. Maybe you have a sound production device, some electronic circuits are there, and then the child is able to do. And nowadays, every laptop, every desktop you see, the word autocorrection, the spell check, the grammar check, everything. Are only children with LD using the grammar check, the spell check? Are we not using the spell checker? I think every time I type, probably at least 3-4 spelling mistakes will be there, and you will see a red line indicating that it is a spelling. Why a red line? See, the color coding. The color coding which you generally use in a notebook has been transformed into a digital color coding. And everybody is using it. Now, nobody says that this technology is for children with learning disabilities or children with dyslexia, because they don't remember the spellings. We are also slowly getting dependent on
becoming forgetful.
Yes.
Yes.
So, these all will fall under the mid-tech category. So, digital recorders, because children with visual impairment, they have a typical small portable recorders with them. Okay, so they help, they record. We all have recorder, audio recorder, voice recorder, video recorder in our mobiles also. Earlier, that small recorder, that pocket recorder would be so helpful, because they would be recording the notes in the classroom, listening to the instructions and all. But now we have it everything in the palm grip in the form of a smartphone with us. Okay, so all adapted mouse, adapted keyboard, you know, everything, you know, even our remote which we use for the TV and for the AC, everything is slowly getting universal design so that everybody can use in the same manner.
Obviously, I mean, you can relate it to the fact that as the size of the houses in urban areas getting smaller, and so is the furniture's size is getting smaller, so that, you know, it can be customized. So it's all about customization and personalization as per your needs and requirements.
Customization, personalization. So when it comes to technical terms, we call it as customization, you know, according to the need of the student, according to the need of the person, you customize the product so that they can be using it in a nicer manner.
Yes.
Okay. Then of course the high tech, you need a computer, you need a laptop, you need a desktop, probably programmed softwares which are going to be useful for children with different you know, disabilities.
For example, we can say virtual labs,
yes,
which any child can use no matter where you are and what kind of student you are.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And also, you know, especially the JAW software, the DAISY software, which children with visual impairment use, you know, these are all, they all fall under the high tech because they are programmed in such a way that they address the specific needs of certain population.
Right.
Okay. So now we have a lot, voice recognition, speech recognition, you know, everything the technology has taken care of. So these is one, but one important aspect is that teachers, yes, we need computers, we need smartphones, we need smart boards, what all, but when we go back, you know, it's not the smartphone that is helping the child to learn in the classroom. It is your teaching methods, it is your explanation and the teaching learning materials which you are using in the classroom for these children. Okay. So if we can make slight modifications, that would do, that would really help the children in the class, and every child can learn in the same with the same material with very minor modifications done. So I want the viewers to have a look at the pictures of these devices. If you see, some of them fall under high tech, some of them fall under no tech. You can see a lot of mobility aids are there, a lot of prosthetic devices are there. You can see the artificial limbs are there. You have hand grippers, then you have you know, lights, then you have lot of voice speech synthesizers, you know, a lot of electronic devices which help in communication, where children who cannot speak or who are non-verbal. So for them, AAC, we call it as AAC, that is called as alternate and augmentative communication. Those devices are very, very important. So these technologies, if you see, are very important for children with disabilities. But as I told in the beginning of my class, that these particular devices are not just, this technology is not just for people with disabilities, you know. Elderly population is one of the important target group, because as they grow, when they enter into the old age, you know, people are forgetful. Their hearing capacities get reduced, their seeing capacity gets reduced, so they have issues with their sight, with their you know, speech, with their communication, with their cognition. So they also need, so a simple reminder helps them to remember that, oh, I need to take pills now. Or most of us use the alarm in our mobile saying that it's time to drink water.
Absolutely, we're doing it.
So what are we doing? We set an alarm saying that, no, I have to pick up these things before I go home. We are scheduling it. So these are all to ease. So this is not, these technologies are not just for those who have cognitive disabilities or those who have dementia or those who have Alzheimer's. No, this is for everybody who needs to remember. Okay. So, but as when it comes to people, elderly people, those who are having chronic illnesses or prolonged medical conditions, you know, these chair lifts, especially chair lifts, because when they sit in the chair, then automatically, because they have mobility issues, the chair itself will rise to a standing position or to a sideway position, in whichever way it is programmed. And the bedside handrails, it is very easy. You just have to tuck it inside underneath the mattress, and then the the person the fall is prevented because you already have a barricade. You already have it, so you don't have to buy a bed which you typically see in the hospitals with a with a railing to prevent the fall. So a simple device like this essential medical hand bed rail can be useful over there. And then a lot of wearables are coming now. When the adult falls down, how do the family members know? Because with the current scenario, everybody is working. Sometimes we may have to leave the elders at home unattended. So because it is a GPS tracker, or because it is a wearable device which gives the alarm, immediately the family members get notified that the person has fallen, and then they may call the neighbors, or they can eventually address, like reaching to the home quickly and all. So like this, we have a lot of other assistive devices are there, which are very, very helpful for for taking bath, because once they become a little old, or because they have this mobility issues, they may not be able to sit and stand. So in order to a simple daily task of taking bath, giving bath also becomes a very big challenging task. So we have a lot of assistive devices which will help in the daily personal skill training also. Okay, so but over and above, in spite of a lot of innovations and all, there are a lot of challenges also. Thing is that the first one, lack of awareness. India with so much of population in the rural areas are not aware about the latest developments. Okay, so definitely there is a lot of need that we create awareness among the public masses that yes, assistive technologies can help. I see a lot of mothers still physically getting exhausted because they do not know that this kind of a device
is available.
This kind of a device is available and it can be used, and moreover the government schemes are giving them free of cost. You don't have to spend a penny on that. So a lot of awareness has to be created. Yes, of course, certain technologies are costly, so we have to really work on the affordability aspects. Okay, then physical and geographical access, especially the hilly areas, the terrains, there sending these devices is a bit difficult. Kind of a thing, so we got to work on that. Maybe the quality also sometimes matters, and most of the time what happens is that a lot of products are designed, but only they get stopped at the prototype. They have a working model, they have a good prototype design and all, but they don't see the scalability of it. So we need to work on all these particular things, and lack of funding also. A lot of funds, because assistive technology needs a lot of funding. So we have to work upon that kind of a thing. Like the current future is about AI, robotic technology. A lot of innovations are coming up, and there is a lot of scope also further in this particular area. So we have to do a lot of R&D, lot of research is needed.
Absolutely. And then even sky is the limit. You look at Stephen Hawking's, look at the devices, that person was using.
Yes, the kind of devices, you see, classic example of a high-tech wheelchair, that is.
Yes. Exactly.
And when we see a wheelchair, now we see a manual wheelchair. But now, yes, we are getting motorized wheelchairs also, but definitely the affordability, when it comes to the affordability, not everybody can afford that latest technological wheelchair.
But you're right, because we have to work on the affordability part, so that it can make our lives really easy. Because as you mentioned, that there's a lot that even people with disabilities can do and achieve, but because of the help that is not available at their disposal, because of these devices that are not accessible and affordable, they're lagging behind, unfortunately.
Yes, very true. So these are some examples, classroom examples. You can see large print, worksheets, post-it notes, and then stamps. The teacher has to just use those stamps to prepare worksheets, and you can see the classroom nicely. The wall has been used so that learning can happen and every child can participate in that. Small pockets have been used, then picture cards are there, tactile flashcards, word cards are given in the classroom. Okay, then these are the perfect examples of picture schedules, reminders. Especially these are very important for children with autism, for children with intellectual disability, those who cannot read or those who cannot remember, who easily forget. Once you just take a printout, keep it in the classroom, and the schedule is there, the child sees and the child follows. Okay, a simple technique, that's all. Okay, communication devices very important, especially for children with autism, for children with multiple disabilities. AAC is very important, and I wanted to show that in one frame, low tech devices. You can see the pencil grippers, different types of pencil grippers. Then you can also see the communication board with Velcro, where the pictures are used. This is used for children with autism. Then you can also see a mid-tech device where the red, blue, green buttons are there. The child is clicking onto that button, so he is communicating. He or she is communicating that I want a cookie or I want a snack, and then the child is putting it. It just sounds like, acts like a buzzer system kind of a thing. Okay, so the mother is working in the kitchen and all. Here's the buzz sound or the sound whichever is programmed into that, and comes out and say, what do you want? You want to go to a restroom, or you want to eat a snack, or you want to go to to play and watch something outside, or suppose if you cannot afford, certain times parents cannot afford, then go for a simple low-tech communication board. I want, and the picture cards are there. Every time the child wants something, the child simply picks the picture card and then puts it in that particular blank space. So I want water, I want snack, I want to watch TV. And then the middle center picture with a tab is the high-tech example, where everything is programmed and the child is operating on the tab or on the smart phone, where the programmed version is loaded into it, and the child clicks or touches the picture, and then the voice is generated, the voice output comes. Okay, so these are communication devices. So you can use a low tech to a high tech device. Okay, and most importantly, we said there are so many assistive devices, products, technologies, which want to prioritize. Okay,
Yes.
WHO also has started this particular exercise, and it has given directions to the countries that every country, according to its own conditions, cultural and socio-economic conditions, have to come out with a assistive technology policy. So it has come out, and in India, the ICMR, that is Indian Council of Medical Research, has done extensive research and prioritized 21 assistive products. So these are considered the most important prioritized assistive products. That means these are must. Over and above this, if the people can want something, people want to use certain other technologies and devices, yes, they can use it. So these 21, most of the things you will see that it is a hand crutch or a wheelchair or a neck thing or a prosthesis, adapted shoes, the braille, short braille taker, note taker, okay, then motorized wheelchairs, the hearing aids, the ramps, for the elderly also the inconsistency products and all, the bed railings. These are all considered as the most important prioritized assistive products, and this is validated and approved list by the ICMR. Okay, and this 21 products catalog is available in their website. People can visit the website and see. Now, apart from this, certain some more examples are especially for children with autism who have difficulty in social communication skills. Swar, this particular augmented mobile application, this is developed by CDAC Bengaluru, and it enhances functional communication for children with autism. This Swar application can be easily uploaded into your mobile, and then you can, and it is personalized one. Like you want to say scan this particular cup and upload the image, and the application will recognize, read, and will say, okay, I want this particular thing. So it is certain pictures are already preloaded, but the parent can click the picture of any object in his or her home and then use it in the Swar mobile application. Then Jello AAC is a speech communicator, very commonly used with children with autism. Please viewers, please type Jello communicator and you will find all the details in the website. There are different packages in that, the basic one and all. So with picture cards, with flash cards, okay, e-versions are also available. Then we have eSadhya. It is an adaptable and accessible e-learning software framework. This is again for children with intellectual disability and mild autism.
Okay.
So this platform is an interactive learning platform where parents, teachers and the learners, all three can come onto the platform and communicate with each other, exchange resources, learn. A lot of resources are already uploaded into it and then they can be used instantly over there. Then for children with learning disabilities, especially dyslexia, the D-Learners platform is very important, because it not only, it starts with the basic question of the screening. You know, parents, those who have that, is my child having a problem or is he having any difficulty? Then you want to just simply go, there is a simple checklist, get it screened, immediately the report gets generated, then a counselor can get and talk to you. And the beauty of this particular platform is that all the exercises are kept in mind, keeping the characteristics of learning disabilities in mind.
It's free of cost?
Yes, certain aspects are free of cost, then it is on a subscription based model. Okay, and it is available in not just in English, in other languages also. Then Ed Queries for intellectual disability, all the activities, the task, it is, you know, simply we call it as task analysis. Every task is broken down, the picture task analysis is given, the video modeling is given, that helps in the learning. Okay, so these all technologies are, they all fall under the educational assistive technologies.
Yes.
So there are assistive technologies which are mobility oriented, assistive technologies which are communication enhancing assistive technologies. Now these are all educational assistive technologies. Then you have the NIPID CAI packages for children with intellectual disability and autism. So you want to teach numeracy, you want to teach about good health practices, you want to teach about simple literacy, functional communication. Please go to NIPID which is situated in Secunderabad, and these CI packages are available free of cost in the website. Anybody can just go to the website, browse through, and then they can download. Then Cute Brains is for children with dyslexia and dysgraphia. This is the brainchild of IIT Kanpur.
Okay.
It is a startup which has been incubated in IIT Kanpur. So they are working extensively on dyslexia and dysgraphia. Then eSign Meta is again for learners with deafness and hearing impairment. So all the CBSE curriculum, the NCERT textbooks, the exercises have been, they tried in a very nice way to to explain using the Indian Sign Language. So these are some examples of educational assistive technologies. So please do not consider that these are the only examples. I have given you just a few so that you can explore on your own what suits best, what suits most to your student in the, or to your child in your home. So these are, please do try out, okay? And the most important question, where do we get them?
Yes.
How do we get them? See, I tell you, there are a lot of private agencies, private players in the field, but when as the Government of India, it has undertaken ALIMCO, which is called as Artificial Limbs Manufacturing Corporation, is the public sector undertaking which manufactures all assistive devices and products, and it distributes at a very, very affordable cost. So please please go to the website of Alinco and the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, Department of Empowerment of Persons with Disabilities and its national institutes. They are the implementing agencies for this scheme called ADIP scheme.
Okay.
So under this scheme, all children and adults, they get assistive devices free of cost worth rupees 15,000. So if the cost of the aid, the wheelchair is cost, or the child wheelchair, or the tricycle, motorized wheelchair, smart cane, braille, stylus, whatever, all the materials which are below the cost of 15,000 are distributed absolutely free of cost under the scheme ADIP. Okay.
But they need to show the certificate.
Yeah, they need to show the disability certificate, the income proof, Aadhaar card, because we have to maintain the standard procedures prescribed by the government.
Right.
And there is a sub-scheme called ADIP Samagra Shiksha scheme. So for all the school going children in the government sector, you can avail this particular scheme in your own school block or district headquarters under the ADIP Samagra Shiksha scheme. Every special educator or general teacher would be aware of the Samagra Shiksha. If not, please type ADIP Samagra Shiksha scheme. You will get all the details. The only thing is that if you do not know that they need this assistive technology, please facilitate.
Yeah.
Please facilitate and help them out in completing the formalities so that they will get the devices in time.
So they don't have to run from pillar to post just to get the information.
Just to get the information. It is available. Government is giving. I do not think any government gives free of cost totally to such a huge population.
Yeah.
So when the scheme is available, the facility is available, we have to make use of it.
Yes.
So these are some of the references. If the viewers are interested, they can read more on this particular topics. So that's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was a wonderful presentation. Lots of things and lots of information is shared about the assistive technologies. And I think it is important to know that these assistive technologies are not just meant for people with disabilities. We all are using them, and as far as education is concerned, I think these technologies are giving everybody a platform to come forward and to achieve anything to the best of their abilities. Now, we have received a few questions, and though you have mentioned a lot of assistive technologies, you showed us a picture also. So the person is asking, what role can wearable technologies such as smartwatches or fitness trackers play in supporting students with disabilities?
Yes, very good question, because I would take an example of children with intellectual disability who are very prone for taken advantage of. When you have a smart wearable technology, it really gives them the advantage of knowing that the child is where the child is, how the child is, if somebody taking advantage, is somebody, just trying to drag and pull the child away. So a smart technology is going to helpful. And the fitness technologies, which are very, very popular nowadays, also help children with disabilities, because many a time a child with Down syndrome, a child with autism, or a child with intellectual disability may not know how much he is eating or how much she is eating, may not know the calorie count, and all, and obesity is increasing a lot, thereby increasing the risk, other risk health issues. Children with Down syndrome have a lot of heart conditions, heart challenges. So these fitness trackers will help them to streamline, to monitor. So your mom doesn't have to help you out in telling you to cut down the diet or the calorie intake, but you know how many steps you have taken, whether you have physically you have spent that much energies on that day or not. So they do help children with disabilities. All these particular smart technologies are very, very helpful, but we have to use it judicially, that's all.
Of course. There's another question the person is asking, how can text-to-speech software, speech generating devices and other assistive technologies improve learning outcomes for students with disabilities?
See, communication is such a basic thing. If I cannot communicate, I know the answer, but I cannot tell you. this speech recognition and the text to speech software helps me, you know, to tell you the answer. So naturally the student who did not have a means of communicating just like others now has a means of communication through this particular software.
Right.
So the learning can be measured and assessed.
True. Then we have another question. You know, it's related to yesterday's session only, because we were talking about assistive technologies, and we learned that not every assistive technology requires internet or computer.
Yes.
So there's a related question that how can assistive technologies be integrated with digital technology to support students with disabilities?
All the latest technology platforms are using digital technologies. You know, anything which is related to your mobile applications, anything which is related, which can be loaded into your laptop or a desktop, is the integration, or is digital technology is embedded into the assistive technology. We are not going to say that no technology, digital technology is not as important as the product itself. No, we need. Earlier the white cane was a simple white cane where the child with blindness used to use, but now you have a smart white cane.
Wow.
You have a smart white cane. The smartness is that the white cane tells you, it tells you in your device that there is a pitfall in 300 meters, or there is an object which is there in 200 meters ahead. So you need to, slightly move to your left, or probably there is a big hoarding in front of you. So the smart white cane is telling you that. So digital technology is going to play a major role now.
Absolutely, and that is why we are conducting this training program under the umbrella theme of inclusive education and digital technology. Ma'am, now we are left with very little time. I have to wrap the session, but yes, I must thank you for your insights regarding assistive technologies in this session. Thank you so much for your time and contribution. It was a learning experience for me and for all the viewers out there. So viewers, now wrapping up day 4's session where we talked about assistive technologies, and of course please stay tuned for tomorrow's session. It will be day 5, and after that you will be ready to go for the assessment as well. Now before I finally leave the studio, it's time for me to share some information regarding the textbooks which are available on Amazon, Flipkart and NCERT website. I'm talking about grade 4 and grade 7 NCERT's textbooks. Now let's take a look at the schedule, what's all coming ahead. So in a short while from now, you can watch our session Sahyog, where we will be talking about peer pressure and making informed choices. With this, it's a wrap. This is me, Harpreet Kaur, taking leave of you. Namaskar.